So I don't know how many more things need to happen for Canadians to realize that Mark Carney is a bad dude, like worse than Justin Trudeau, which is why this sticker right here says Trudeau 2.0, because quite literally, that's exactly what he is doing. And in this announcement where, you know, today you had all leaders platform what exactly is everything that they're pushing forward. But Mark Carney's plan, before he's even the legitimate prime minister of this country, wants to put us, or is already putting us, in a 300 or 400 or 600 billion dollar deficit. Yeah, it's happening. So if you thought it was bad under Trudeau with spending money, Carney is a pissed off girlfriend with a credit card. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does tremendously help grow the channel. And if you want a matching sticker like the one here on my microphone, or like any of the ones on screen, this is actually called the Election Sticker Pack #1. It's the most popular sticker pack on the entire website. You get all of these stickers that you see on screen, and if you use code SAVECANADA, all in caps, no spaces, you get yourself 20% off. I'm going to put the link down below in the description and the pinned comment below for your convenience. And without further ado, let's get into this, because this is important to know, especially for those that haven't gone out and voted yet. And I have a really cool announcement, folks. I popped my cherry. I popped my federal cherry. This is the first time that I've ever voted federally, and I had to use a special ballot because I'm not in my riding. I'm at the beach, and so that was a cool process. But hey, it worked, and I see a lot of people out there saying go and bring your own pens because they're issuing pencils. I am just as much as the next person willing to entertain those types of things, but they gave me a pen. So, but by all means, bring your own pen. Like, nothing is stopping you from bringing your own pen, and just make sure that you get out and vote, because you can do it. I did it, and it's my first time ever voting federally at 31 years old. But hey, I did it. Yay, I'm allowed to have a political opinion now. All right, without further ado, let's get into this video.
A resilient nation that can withstand any economic threat, to build Canada strong. You know, 3 months ago, almost exactly to the day, 3 months ago, I was at an outdoor rink in Edmonton where I had grown up learning to play hockey. And I was putting my hand up to run for the leadership of the Liberal Party to try to become your Prime Minister. And
you were selected.
At that,
guys, you got to believe me. I've been wanting to do this my entire life, but I only really decided 3 months ago that I was going to do it. But it also was my entire life. But also it was 3 months ago. You see how confusing that is? Every time Mark Carney speaks, he's always had an interest in running for office, running for prime minister. But now he's saying it was only 3 months ago that I did this. And look how much we've accomplished is what he's going to say. It's just so weird, man. Like, I can't believe people are falling for this. It's like Katy Perry coming back from her 10-minute space flight going, I have found the meaning of life. Like, okay, I'm sure you have for 10 minutes.
At that time, I had that goal in mind, to build Canada strong. It was true that day at that rink in Edmonton. It was true when I took office, oath of office at Rideau Hall 2 months ago, or a month ago, sorry, a month ago. I wish it feels like 2 months ago, to becoming a prime minister. And it will remain true. It will remain true. Building Canada strong will remain true every day if Canadians choose me and this team in this election.
Yeah. They've literally placed, handpicked all these women in here. The only non-woman is right above Anita Anand, right here. This person of color looks like a black guy, but everybody else, I mean, I know Francois Champagne is there, but I said man, not boy, woman, soy figure. Okay, so kind of weird that it's just handpicked all women back there and all very diverse background.
That focus, that unrelenting focus on building our country has only become more urgent, because we are facing the biggest crisis of our lifetimes. Just 4 days after I launched my candidacy in Edmonton, Donald Trump assumed the presidency of the United States. And ever since, it's true. Go for you. I'm not going to hold you back. Ever since, he's been attacking us, America's closest ally, its closest partner, Canada, trying to fundamentally restructure the international trading system. And in the process, he is rupturing the global economy. There's been an 80-year period when the United States has embraced the mantle of global economic leadership, when it has forged alliances rooted in trust and mutual respect, when it's championed free and open exchange of goods and services. That era is over. That is a tragedy, but we have to recognize that it's also our new reality. And so the key question in this election is who is the best place to respond to that? Who will stand up to President Trump? Who will stand up for you? Who will stand up for Canadians?
Why is it always anti-American rhetoric? Most of what these people in the background are wearing and consuming is made from China, from Bangladesh, and by child slaves, or in America. Yet, F you, America, it's just so hypocritical. It's literally trying to take a shot at the hand that feeds you, right? Not that America feeds us, but kinda. We're pretty reliant on America. We can be more pro-nationalist instead of being so anti-American. You can try to build the inside of your household without taking shots at your neighbor. That doesn't make any sense, right? Just because Trump is treating us a certain way with tariffs doesn't mean that we have to go down to that level, right? Doesn't make us better. In fact, it makes us hypocritical because Canadians have this reputation of being overly friendly, saying sorry all the time, and the Liberals are single-handedly, with their elbows up and their butts out, ruining that reputation.
And part of standing up is to have the plan to manage through the chaos to a better future for all Canadians. Now, I've managed crises virtually my entire career. I helped Canada navigate through the 2008 global financial crisis. I guided the UK through the turmoil of Brexit. I know what it takes to not merely survive a crisis, but to emerge stronger than before. I know what it means to be entrusted with making the decisions that will affect the lives and livelihoods of millions of people. I know how to manage the chaos created by President Trump. I know how we in Canada can win this trade war, how we can build the strongest economy in the G7. And that starts with knowing that when you are in a crisis, you have to prepare for the worst. You can't hope for the best. Unfortunately, Pierre Poilievre has chosen a different approach. When President Trump was openly musing, threatening about annexing Canada, about making our great nation the 51st state, Pierre Poilievre's first reaction was not to defend our sovereignty.
Yes, it was.
No, he said, Canada is stupid.
No, he didn't.
Over time, when the severity of President Trump's threats became obvious to virtually everyone, his message to the president has been that he should just knock it off. Just knock it off. As if it were so simple. You
know what? Pierre Poilievre should almost get up and start accusing Mark Carney being a racist and a sexist. Like, what is there to lose at this point? Mark Carney is literally lying about so many things. Pierre never said just knock it off. He did use those words, but that's not the only thing he said. Justin Trudeau has also said, stop saying that, stop threatening to annex us. Mark Carney has also said similar things. Like, it's so disingenuous, manipulative to say that. He also, Pierre Poilievre never called Canadians stupid or Canada stupid. This is absurd. It's just flat out lies. And he's been lying about this whole security clearance. This was debunked by Tom Mulcair, previous leader of the NDP and once upon a time House Speaker. Right? It's just a lie that was fabricated by Justin Trudeau. And Mark Carney is fabricating his own lies to hurt his political opponent. It's literally mis and disinformation at the highest level in an election. It's election interference. It's fraudulent. So why not just fight fire with fire at this point and just start making things up of how Mark Carney has all these sexual abuse scandals? Like, who cares at this point? Like, it's so disingenuous. I'm not saying that we should ever lie about specifically that. But honestly, who gives a shit anymore? This country is so broken. And if this is how liberals are going to go about campaigning in this election, then not to the point of lying about sexual abuse, obviously not, but just make shit up. Who cares, right? Paint his face black and say, look, Trudeau did blackface. Carney's also doing blackface. Who cares at this point? It's just so idiotic that this is allowed by our politicians.
The start of an unprecedented crisis.
We have to prepare for America's threats to our very sovereignty. They want our land, our resources, they want our water, they want our country. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. And you're right, that will never happen. Canada is not America, and it never will be. But we need to do more than just recognize that. We need a plan to deal with this new reality. Because when you're in a crisis, plan beats no plan. A plan provides direction in the fog of uncertainty. It provides purpose. It rallies the team. It drives action. And to succeed in a crisis, you have to act with overwhelming force. We need to overcome the natural anxieties that people feel. We need to break through the uncertainty which is freezing our businesses. We need to replace, more than replace, what the crisis is taking away from us.
Freezing our businesses. This guy single-handedly chose to freeze bank accounts. He gave that as an option to Justin Trudeau. This is all in articles with appropriate timestamps. He is literally the devil, man. How can people not see this?
Look, it said there are no atheists in foxholes. There should be no libertarians in crises. As in a crisis, and this is what happens in a crisis, the private sector retreats, and government needs to step up. Government must lead and catalyze private investment. I know from traveling across our great country that Canadians are ready to step up. Canadians don't just want to resist the U.S. Canadians are determined to win. So our task as a nation, thank you, I'm here. Our task as a nation over the coming weeks, months, and years is to think big and to act bigger. Because we're not helpless in this. We're not just passive observers of a rapidly changing world, and we certainly aren't the United States. We're Canada. We are a free, sovereign, ambitious nation. We're a country with the capacity to lead the world. We have agency, we have power, we're masters in our own home. I'm proud to launch Canada Strong. Our plan to unite, to secure, to protect and build Canada. And this comprehensive plan is defined by 4 principles. And the first is to unite. Because in a time of crisis, in a time when President Trump is attacking our economy, he's trying to weaken us, there is nothing more important than unity. Being united means standing up for what brings us together, like CBC, Radio Canada. And it means making it easier to buy Canadian and discovering everything that our great country has to offer. This is unity. Our second principle is secure. Because in a more dangerous and divided world, it's essential to secure our borders, to secure our sovereignty, and to secure our country. Securing our economy against the threat of tariffs is only the most immediate priority. To secure our nation over the long term, we have to do much more. We need to rebuild, rearm, and reinvest in the Canadian Armed Forces.
Yeah, Pierre's been doing a great job of announcing his plan for that.
So we will boost our Made in Canada defense industry, including by joining Rearm Europe, to invest in transatlantic security with like-minded European partners.
He wants to shift. Hold on a second. This is now for the multipleth time, right? This is several times now that Carney is preferring to do something, either trade oil and gas or in terms of our defenses with Europe across a literal massive body of water than with America, where you can walk, drive, bicycle, rollerblade to, or if you choose to fly. That's insane. I mean, he's talking about getting off American independence, but he's trying to have reliance and codependence on Europe. It doesn't make any sense. This guy is not pro-Canada at all. He's pro-Europe.
We will increase care for our veterans, the women and men who put their lives on the line to defend our values. Yeah. We will invest in our North because Canada is a proud Arctic nation, but one that faces new threats. And we'll build safe communities, not just by denouncing the alarming rise in anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, but by making it illegal to willfully obstruct places of worship, schools, and community centers.
How about you make it so you can only worship in places of religion?
We will treat
in actual buildings, not out in the streets. Like you're seeing downtown Toronto, where they've got like thousands of people doing prayers and stuff. I don't care what religion it is. Do that in a place of worship, not out in the streets like that, blocking traffic. That's not Canada, man. That's not Canada at all.
Sexual and intimate partner violence as the urgent crisis that it is, by making murder motivated by hate, including femicide, a constructive first-degree offense. We will stop the flow of illegal American guns, because you can't be tough on crime if you're not tough on guns.
Yeah, how are you going to stop that flow, buddy?
Assert ourselves. Canada will assert ourselves as a world leader, uniting like-minded countries who share our values of international cooperation and the free and open exchange of goods and services and ideas. We will step into the void left by the United States, because if the United States doesn't want to lead, Canada will.
Lead what? What are all these morons clapping up? Lead what? Oil and gas? Be a superpower? Like, America's GDP is already 10 times larger, if not more, than ours. So what are we going to be leading? All of these freaking idiots behind them are just clapping like brain dead idiots.
Our third principle is to protect. We all know Canada is not American. We never will be. We are our own country. We have our own unique identity, history, culture, and way of life. And our government will always stand up for what makes Canada, Canada. That starts with protecting healthcare. You know, in America, healthcare is a big business. In Canada, it is a right.
It's still a business. It comes out of our taxes.
We will protect that right while modernizing the system, recruiting more doctors and nurses, and expanding coverage. You know what? Another part of our identity in Canada is nature. Nature is in our nature, and we will protect that too. It's troubling that in America and elsewhere around the world, fundamental rights and freedoms are being rolled back. We will never go down that path here. We will protect a woman's right to choose what she does with her own body.
Pierre said the exact same thing. Pierre Poilievre has said that abortion laws, women's rights, nothing is ever getting clawed back. That's just how Canada is. So it's the same. It's the same.
There can be no debate about abortion rights in Canada, non-negotiable. Now, we will protect the freedom and equality that every Canadian is guaranteed, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender. You know, this came up, these sort of fundamental freedoms came up in the debate. We'll protect our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I said in the debate that that charter exists to protect Canadians from politicians. I'm a politician. It protects from politicians who may use their powers to override fundamental rights. We can't go down that slippery slope. Your fundamental rights and liberties shouldn't be subject to the whims of the government of the day. They should be eternal in Canada.
This guy literally advised the Trudeau government to enact Emergencies Act and freeze bank accounts. So again, extremely hypocritical.
We will also protect the progress we've made on reconciliation, but forge ahead and work to build stronger, healthier Indigenous communities across this country. Now, the fourth principle of our plan is build. We used to build things in this country. It's time to build again, big time. It's time to build a Canada you can afford, with the middle class tax cut and the elimination, which we've already done, of the divisive consumer carbon tax.
He paused it, and there's still a carbon tax there.
Surrounded by young people, we know that it's time to build housing. It's time to build twice as many homes every year. And we will do it in a way that builds an entirely new housing industry, an entirely new industry with the most ambitious plan in Canada since the Second World War. It's time to build new trade and energy corridors, working in partnership with the provinces and territories and Indigenous peoples. Yes. And that's what we agreed. That's what we agreed to do in my first week as Prime Minister with all the First Ministers. It's time to build a future-focused, tech-enabled, clean economy that will be the strongest in the G7. It's time to build an economy that works for everyone. It is time to build Canada strong.
The lady who's got like between 2 weeks and 2 years left is back there waving the Canadian flag. It's these people that are ruining this entire country. Most of these people are extremely old. There's not a whole lot of young people in that crowd, and they are ruining this country by voting for a party that once was significantly better than what it is now. Maybe not good, but at least it wasn't as corrupt and as progressive and as destructive as what it is today. And they're still holding on to the old Liberal Party, which is now where the Conservatives stand. Liberalism from 15, 20 years ago is quite literally exactly where modern day Conservatives are. So why hold on to a party that's going further to the left as you are getting older and closer to death? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Ruining it for generations and generations to come. And this guy wants to start building more houses. He wants to start selling in masses these $72,000 manufactured homes that his company makes, so that his company can get these government contracts in the masses and have a huge expansion on their stock price and make all this money, which would make him richer. Kind of interesting how that works out.
Our plan gets government spending under control because the government has been spending too much and Canada has been investing too little. Let me draw that out. Day-to-day government spending, the government's operating budget, has been growing by 9% every year for years. That's more than twice the rate of growth of our economy. We're going to bring that level of spending growth down from 9% to 2%. And we will do it in a way. We will not cut any transfers to provinces, to territories, or individuals. We will protect all of those. But we will balance our operating budget over the next 3 years by cutting waste, by eliminating duplication, and by deploying technology. You know, but it's not enough just to do that. Because in the biggest crisis in our lifetimes, I know that when you're in a crisis, you have to act with purpose and with force. Your government needs to step in. In the Bank of Canada's worst case economic scenario on the Trump trade war, which was released a couple days ago, they estimate that a long-lasting global trade war causes $125 billion in damage to the Canadian economy. That is an enormous number. But it's small compared to what we can give ourselves back. That's why what we're going to do is to invest more to build things, to make capital investments that will create a massive return for all Canadians. Two-thirds of all new spending in our plan will go to capital investments that catalyze the building of affordable homes, that provide equipment for our Canadian Armed Forces to secure this country, that build clean and conventional energy, that create nation-building infrastructure like ports, new roads, railways that connect us with reliable trading partners. And crucially, most of the remaining spending is on our middle-class tax cut. So we're cutting taxes today for affordability, and we're investing in our future. These are smart investments. And we're designing our investments so that they will catalyze $4 to $5 more in investment from the private sector for every dollar that the government puts in. So, as an example, by investing $1.5 billion to cut development charges and red tape for new homes, to cut those charges in half, we'll drive over $8 billion in private housing investment, more than 5 times what we're spending. In total, In total, our plan over the next 5 years will create $500 billion in economic value for Canadians. And that is on top of the $200 billion in total investment that our existing investment tax credits in clean energy, clean hydrogen, clean technology, electric vehicle manufacturing, and carbon capture will create on their own. And that is before the additional $200 billion that we can give ourselves as Canadians if we complete this job of building one Canadian economy instead of 13. So, this is what it means to be Canada strong. This is what it means to be Canada strong. What President Trump threatens us is to take away $125 billion. What we can create is $900 billion by ourselves. That is...
Yeah, right.
That is $20,000 on net for every single Canadian in 5 years. And that's what it means when we say we can do more for ourselves than any foreign government can ever take away. That's what it means. That's what it means. That's what it means to have a government that spends less so that Canadians can invest more. That's what it means. That's what it means to act with the urgency that this crisis requires, to match the scale of the crisis with the scale of ambition in this great country. This plan meets the moment with overwhelming force. And while we're putting forth the most ambitious economic plan in decades, to do more than just get our economy back on track, but to build the strongest economy in the G7. Pierre Poilievre's mind is focused elsewhere. His priority for Canadians is to bring back plastic straws. Plastic straws. Thank God. That'll show Trump. That'll show the Americans. We got our straws, yeah. At least that's his priority when he's not proposing to burn everything down, everything that matters to Canadian under the pretense of getting our house in order. To cut our public services that support Canadians. To get rid of the Canadian child benefit and $10 a day childcare. No. $10 a day childcare that saves a family here in Whitby $10,000 a year. Get rid of it.
Pierre never said he was going to get rid of it. In fact, he said the opposite. He wouldn't get rid of it, and same with dental.
Get rid of it to pay a tax cut. So that's not our plan. He wants to get rid of dental care that is now available to more than 8 million Canadians. Dental care that saves the average person $870 for a trip. He wants to get rid of pharmacare that will provide free contraceptives and diabetes medication to Canadians. He wants to end our international partnerships, cutting aid to those most in need, including to Ukraine and in the Middle East. He wants to close our most important, our most prized cultural institutions, like CBC, Radio Canada.
No, he wants to defund them so that we're not paying for it.
In the face of President Trump's threats against our sovereignty. That's not leadership. That's ideology. And it's the last thing we need at this pivotal time. You know,
this angers me so much, folks. This anger, I don't know if I can watch anymore. I get so angry watching this because it's just lies, literal falsehoods, mis and disinformation at the highest level that's being regurgitated, and all of the morons behind there believe it, and they go around and they tell everybody all of these lies, and that's what the Liberal campaign is in this election, is just lies, like factually incorrect lies, purposely designed to hurt political opponents like Pierre Poilievre. I have listened to more politics than what is healthy for any human being over the past few years. And everything that he has accused Pierre Poilievre of are completely wrong. It's mind-blowing that there's people out there going, oh, Pierre's going to cut dental. We can't vote for him. He's literally said this week, last week, the week prior, I'm not cutting dental. We're going to keep that. We're going to keep childcare. Yet somehow legally, Mark Carney and other liberals and the media are allowed to go out and regurgitate actual lies, not slightly bending the truth. Actual lies. It's so disheartening. It shows me that this country is insanely fucked if this is even allowed. And it ruins and undermines our democratic process. You can't just lie about your political opponents like that and make shit up. What's stopping that from? Where's the line? If you're lying, if you've already crossed the line of lying, where is the next line? Can you just take it a step further and say some wild shit about your political opponents and get away with it? Maybe. I don't know, but that's not how Canada should operate. It's not how Canada has historically operated. I don't think it's ever been this bad. I mean, this is beyond insane. It's almost criminal. It's almost criminal. Ladies and gentlemen, I am fed up with Mark Carney. We have an opportunity to make it right. I did what I could today by going out and voting. Let me know down in the comments if you have gone to early vote or if you are going to go vote sometime soon before April 28th. Let me know about any thoughts or comments of the topics that were covered in this video of Mark Carney's incredibly lying and manipulative speech. And that's the end of the video, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.